This year in D.C., overall crime is up 27% compared to last year. 7 News wants to know if people who live here in the district feel safe. There's been 85 juveniles shot this year in D.C., 85. 15 of those didn't make it. For 10-year-old Taylor Weaver, let's hope that this city quickly finds some answers on how to reduce violent crime.
Thank you very much. Let me just wrap up for my rude friend here. But
I wasn't rude, Mayor.
Yes,
I was just asking a question, like all the other reporters.
Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Well, you're addressing me.
Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Do not follow me.
Why?
Please
this is
do
a
not.
public elevator. I can come into a public elevator.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, come on in, guys.
Thank you very much.
You can't push me.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me why you haven't been transparent for 3 months? Are you now going to do an investigation?
And certainly in our case, what's in the best interest of Virginia.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much,
Governor,
everybody.
I would like to ask one question. I want to ask you about Loudoun County. Why are you not allowing us to ask a question? You deliberately didn't allow 7 News to ask a question. Why is that?
Hi, Anthony. Scott with 7 News. Can you tell me what you did with all that money? More than $40,000 is gone, and now you've been charged with a crime. If you're working for the police department, why do I need to talk? Well, can I come in? I don't know why you're blocking me.
I'm not.
You know, you wrote a $250 ticket to a man who was only eating lunch. Did you know that? Well, I'd like to talk to you. You're the one who's writing the tickets. Excuse me. I'm Scott Taylor with WJLA. Can you tell me why you're dumping recycling in with the regular garbage?
Recycling is recycling. It's all recycle right there.
No, it isn't. We saw you come by about a half hour ago and dump the garbage. Nope. We saw you sitting over there with the same truck. This is the same truck. No so tell me why you're doing that. Why should people recycle when you're dumping it all in the landfill?
Well, when you get your hair or your nails done, how do you know if the person holding the scissors or using dangerous chemicals is professionally trained and licensed?
Well, new at 6 o'clock, stunning claims of fraud and kickbacks inside the D.C. office that issues cosmetology and barber licenses. Here's 7 News on Your Side's I-Team reporter Scott Taylor with the exclusive investigation.
David Brunson has been a commercial airline pilot in D.C. for nearly 20 years, and he's had a lifelong interest in the health and beauty industry. So when a former member of the D.C. Cosmetology Board asked him if he was interested in starting a beauty school, he jumped on it.
This was a dream for me.
The D.C. board member, Olivia French, who was appointed to the board by D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. French used to own a beauty school called the French Institute. It hadn't been licensed to operate in D.C. since 2015. Brunson says French wanted him to open up a new beauty school at her old school's location. Brunson says he spent more than $100,000 on classroom renovations and equipment, but was floored when he learned how some students managed to get their licenses.
It was a pay to play.
Turns out Olivia French was selling cosmetology and barber license to unqualified students for thousands of dollars. She allegedly then kicked back some of that money to an official here at D.C.'s Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection. In D.C., you need 1,500 hours of classes and also pass an exam to legally obtain a cosmetology license. Brunson says French would give students a few hours of training, then fill out their applications listing the French Institute as the school they attended. Some students would even get their licenses without taking the required exam.
Well, she explained to me that she pretty much runs D.C. when it came to licensing.
Brunson says French got bogus licenses for dozens of students and says French got him 3 fake licenses: a cosmetology instructor license, an operator license, and a barber license. Brunson says he never paid any application fees or took any tests. In text sent to Brunson, French states that she could get anyone he trusts a license and bragged about how much money she made in a month. 7 News spoke with 2 former students who said they both paid French for their licenses. Both confirmed they never took required classes or exams.
Again, I said, why don't you just stop and let the school happen and stop picking students off before I can get started? And I said, you're going to go to jail.
Brunson says he wanted to open a legitimate school and charge tuition. He says French seemed more interested in using the school to continue her pay-to-play scam.
Being unlicensed and not knowing how to take care of certain situations can really be dangerous for everyone.
Julio Vejio has been in the cosmetology industry for 45 years and owns 7 Paul Mitchell beauty schools, including this one at Tyson's Corner Mall. Vejio says there's a good reason students need professional training.
There's use of chemicals, sharp equipment, sanitation, disinfection, how to handle certain situations when people may have allergic reactions. So understanding and knowing a good foundation of your craft is extremely important.
Hi, Olivia.
7 News caught up with Olivia French near her home in the district. She admitted her guilt in the pay-to-play scheme, but told us she wasn't alone. She said she gave money to a female accomplice in the DLCP to obtain bogus licenses.
So did she take some of that money that was given to you? So you guys kind of split the money?
I gave her some of the money.
Yeah, how much money we're talking about? Thousands of dollars for each person?
You're talking about thousands.
Did you take tests for them as well so they could get them?
Those that, some of them I took tests, some of them she just went in the computer and
just got the
printed
licenses?
the licenses off.
Which you now know was wrong to do, right?
Absolutely. And I'm guilty. Yeah, I'm ready to pay the price.
David Brunson never opened up any beauty school and says he didn't use the fake licenses. Tonight at 11, we tracked down the director of the D.C. department who has refused to sit down with 7 News and answer questions about her pay-to-play in her own department. Take a look.
What is your department trying to cover up, ma'am? If you won't sit down and talk to us.
There's nothing that we are covering up, but I
Then
will
why
have
haven't you
to
been
contact
transparent and cooperative and sat down with us?
Excuse me 1 second. I'm actually leaving.
So you're not gonna let us know?
Sorry, we're actually having an appointment.
Okay,
But like
have
I
a great
said,
day.
Charles will be trying.
Okay, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. Hope we can do that.
Plus at 11, you'll hear more of Olivia French's stunning confession. And I'm going to show you what D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office has to say about our investigation.
Today in D.C., police went on a community walk in Ward 6 to address safety concerns with families ahead of the start of a new school year.
Now, so far in 2023, 12 children have been shot and killed. That is more than double the number of kids gunned down just 3 years ago. 70 more juveniles are gun violence survivors now.
This is really a problem that is very real to children who just want a safe home. I-Team investigator Scott Taylor is listening to a group of kids who are speaking out tonight. Scott?
Yeah, these numbers are really scary. 7 News is asking a big safety question to kids in the heart of the district. What do they think about the rising violence happening right outside their front door?
You can't even walk around here without people coming up to you, bullying you, killing you.
These kids, all under the age of 15, are part of the community-based group Saving Our Youth in D.C.'s 6th District. 3 young minds, with permission from their parents, talking to 7 News about the violence in their neighborhood.
I hear gunshots though, but my friends be telling me that. They be coming up to me and telling me it's a shootout around 34. So we're going to have to wait until we go home.
One wants to be a WWE star when they grow up, another a professional soccer player, and a third wants to be a fashion icon.
I mean, I pay attention around wherever I go because, it's not just violence and stuff going on around here. It's everywhere.
Their homes in the heart of one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city.
I don't feel safe because they just walk up to you, shoot you, try to stab you.
This year, there have been 67 juvenile gunshot victims so far in Washington, D.C. 12 of those have died.
You can't say Black Lives Matter, but then you killing the next black. That don't make sense.
In the 6th District, your head is on a swivel.
Every second, you gotta check your back. You don't know what is what, and some kids can be walking down the street and minding their business, and they be like, oh, I think that's such and such kids. Oh, let me shoot at them, bow, bow, and then they land down on the floor crying.
The 6th District leads the city this year in the total number of violent crimes. It's second only to the 7th District in homicides and assaults with a dangerous weapon.
Why are you in the house all the time?
You know, it's more peaceful in the house. You know, you don't got to worry about no violence or altercations and stuff like that when you're out.
These three see the violence unfold on the street and wonder why adults can't figure out a better way to keep kids safe.
Yeah, I just tell them, like, stop it and stuff like, there's no reason to do it. Because people have family that they love and stuff.
It's always programs and stuff for kids, like recreation centers, but I also feel like there could be more.
Police officers should be like circling the block and all that to make sure these kids are safe.
7 News has obtained a disturbing video of a Prince George's County police officer and his use of force. A warning, though, some of this video is hard to watch. On your side, I-Team investigative reporter Scott Taylor is here to break it all down. Scott?
Police officers have a very tough and dangerous job. Force is sometimes used. This video shows a very intoxicated suspect who spits on Officer Stephen Tucker back in 2020. Take a look. While he's driving, Tucker responds by hitting the suspect in the head over and over again. You're watching a suspect in 2020 spit at Prince George's County police officer Stephen Tucker while he's driving a patrol car. Tucker reacts by punching the suspect a total of 8 times. Is it the proper use of force? Decide for yourself, but Prince George's County Police called Tucker's use of force justifiable. Campaign Zero, an advocacy group that pushes to end law enforcement agency violence and hold police accountable, has a different take.
It was clear that that was an unwarranted use of force and that punching him repeatedly in the head was not an appropriate response.
The suspect, handcuffed and wearing a seatbelt in the front seat because the department doesn't supply backseat cages in all of its patrol cars. Listen to Officer Tucker, in his own words, explain to investigators what happened.
When he did spit, it went all over my face and in my eye, and I turned my head, and I was still trying to like keep the car right, driving, but I could feel that started to wobble. As soon as I got the spit in my face, that's when I reacted, and I did do four reactionary hits.
Criminologist Eric Pisa with Northeastern University says a key to determine the level of use of force is when use of force is no longer needed.
The question becomes exactly at what point was the force no longer warranted? And that's a little bit difficult to tell from secondhand footage. Again, the officer responded, it would seem to be appropriately to the force. It's a little bit difficult to tell from the video exactly at what point was the force no longer needed to subdue the suspect.
Prince George's County Police policy says unjustified force includes the following: inappropriate force, unnecessary force, or excessive force which is intentional, malicious, and results in injury or potential injury.
I'm shocked, frankly, that he received no discipline for those punches. And it's a reminder that the police time and time again get away with doing whatever they want, regardless of department policy.
Tucker was suspended 5 hours without pay for his use of language, but no discipline for the 8 punches. In an internal investigation, First Sergeant William Gleason, who the department says is one of the country's foremost experts in use of force, states the first few punches were reasonable. The last couple needed to be justified by Tucker and may have been more than what was needed to stop the spitting assault. Here's Tucker explaining the additional 4 punches.
Then after those, the best that I remember is that my main goal was to keep him away from trying to spit again. So that's where the other hits and me trying to move him was for.
Tucker's supervisor on the scene shortly after the punches reviewed the dash cam video and stated the second number of punches did not appear in compliance with police policy, and the first set of strikes seemed to be effective enough in stopping the spitting assault. We did some digging and discovered Tucker has been under review for 37 incidents of use of force over the past 8 years, which averages out to 1 use of force incident every 2.7 months.
Every 90 days would seem to be a little high to me.
For months, Prince George's County Police Chief Malik Aziz, who was not chief during the 2020 incident, has denied our request for an on-camera interview multiple times. Brian Fisher, the police department's media relations division manager, tells 7 News that talking about individual officers does not rise to the level of the chief of police. That's simply not true. Aziz has, on multiple occasions, talked about individual officers on camera, including on 7 News, regarding viral video of one of his officers kissing a woman at a park.
I'm curious, as the chief, what was your reaction when you saw that video for the first time?
Well, I thought it does not represent our vibrant, robust brand.
7 News requested a copy of the department's written policy that prohibits Aziz from talking on camera about individual officers. It doesn't exist. 7 News hasn't been able to reach the suspect, and his charges dropped. Officer Tucker isn't talking to us. He did complete a refresher course on use of force and de-escalation training back in 2021. That's Tucker using a neck restraint last fall on another handcuffed suspect. We dig into all of this later in the week. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.